Dawn broke with a strange stillness over the Pride Lands. The sun rose, but its warmth felt cautious, as if even the sky sensed what was coming. From Pride Rock, Simba watched the plains awaken herds, moving slowly, birds lifting in uneasy flocks. The land lived, yet it listened. Below, the pride gathered. Nala stood at Simba's side, her presence steady, her eyes sharp with quiet strength. Kiara lingered nearby, older now, watching her father not just as a daughter, but as a future queen, studying the way to the crown. Amani returned before the sun reached its peak. He came running hard from the eastern ridge, dust clinging to his fur, breath heavy. "They are moving," he said. "The Shadow faction has crossed the broken valley." They march under fire-marked banners. Rafiki's tail flicked. "Fire always thinks it can eat the world," he muttered. "Until the rain remembers its name." Simba turned to the gathered lions. "We don't meet fire with fear," he said. "We meet it with truth." Scouts were sent. Old allies answered. From distant hills came the rhinos. From the riverbanks, the hippos rose like living stone. Even the elephants, long silent, turned their great heads toward Pride Rock. The circle of life was not a myth, it was a promise. But deep beyond the scorched ravines, the air of fire prepared hissed at atop blackened rock, his mane streaked with ash and flame-colored scars. His eyes burned with obsession. Simba hides behind balance. He snarled to his followers. "Behind weakness, today, we show the world that power is destiny." When the two forces finally met at the edge of the Great Valley, the air itself seemed to hold its breath. Simba stepped forward alone. "I knew your uncle," he called across the divide. "I know where this path ends." The air of fire laughed. "You survived, Scar. That doesn't make you strong." "Tit makes you lucky." Simba's voice did not rise. "Strength without purpose destroys itself." The battle came like a storm fast, brutal, unforgiving. Dust and roars filled the valley. Yet amid the chaos, something changed. Simba fought not with rage, but with clarity. Each move protected another. Each command strengthened the whole. And when the air of fire charged at him, blinded by fury, Simba did not strike him down. Stopped him. Pinned beneath Simba's weight, the fire-eyed lion froze not from pain, but from shock. "This is where Scar failed," Simba said quietly. He thought fear was rule, but leadership is responsibility. Silence spread across the battlefield. The Shadow faction faltered, one by one. They stepped back, their belief cracking like dry earth after rain. As the sun dipped once more, the Pride Land stood not victorious through destruction, but restored through unity. From Pride Rock that night, Simba roared not in anger, but in promise. And across the plains, the land answered. Dawn broke with uneasy silence. The Pride Land should have awakened with birdsong and the distant calls of grazing herds. But instead, the plains lay tense, as if the earth itself was holding its breath. Simba stood at the summit of Pride Rock, watching the light spill across the horizon. Though the battle with the air of fire was over, yet victory did not feel complete. Shadows rarely vanished. All at once, they retreated, waiting. Below, the prides gathered. Lions from distant valleys, desert clans, and forest borders had answered Simba's call. Some bore scars fresh from war. Others carried older wounds, distress grief, memories of Scar's reign that still haunted them. Nala joined Simba, her gaze sweeping the assembled lions. "They're looking at you differently now," she said softly. Simba nodded. "They're not just looking at a king anymore. They're asking what kind of future follows him." Before he could respond, Rafiki approached, his staff tapping rhythmically against the stone. The mandrill murmured. "The fire has burned. but the ashes still speak. From the crowd, Imani, his once cautious eyes now steadier. "Scouts report movement near the Broken Valley," he said. "Not an army, but refugees, prides displaced by the Heir of Fire's followers. They're afraid to come closer." A low murmur spread through the gathering. Simba felt the weight of leadership settle deeper into his chest. "Bring them," he said without hesitation. "Today, no lion should be without a place in the circle of life." Some elders exchanged uneasy glances. One stepped forward, her mane silver with age. "If we open our lands to all, we invite danger." Scar did the same. He trusted the wrong lions. Simba turned to her, his voice calm but firm. "Scar ruled through fear. I ruled through responsibility. There is a difference." The sun climbed higher as the refugees arrived, thin, weary lions, with cubs pressed close to their sides. Fear lingered in their eyes, but so did hope. Nala stepped forward first, lowering her head in welcome. Slowly, others followed. Yet far beyond the plains, in lands where the grass had long since burned black, something stirred. The Heir of Fire had fallen, but his legacy had not died with him. Deep within a ravine split by ancient lava flows, a circle of lions gathered around flickering embers. Their leader was not large, nor scarred like Scarbird. His eyes burned with cold intelligence. "The king believes the war is over," the lion said quietly. "That makes him vulnerable." One of the others snarled. "We lost everything." "No," the leader replied. "We learned fire alone cannot rule the Pride Lands, but doubt can." Back at Pride Rock, that doubt arrived sooner than expected. A young scout burst into the gathering, panting. "Simba herds are refusing to cross the eastern plains. They say the land is cursed, that the king's return has angered the spirits." Rafiki's staff struck the stone sharply. AT lies wearing the mask of fear. Simba felt frustration rise, but he steadied himself. "Then we show them the truth," he said. "Not with force, with action." Over the following days, Simba led patrols himself, restoring damaged waterholes, guiding herds safely through burned lands, and standing openly among lions who once feared him. Each act chipped away at the whispers, spreading through the plains. Still, the shadows adapted. One night, as the moon rose pale and thin, Simba dreamed. He stood once more in the gorge where Mufasa had died. Fire crept along the walls, but this time Scar was nowhere to be seen. Instead, countless lion eyes watched from the darkness, waiting, judging. Then his father's voice echoed, not from the sky, but from within. A king is not proven by victory alone, but by what he protects when the battle is done. Simba awoke with a sharp breath. At dawn, he called the prides together. "We have spent too long letting fear shape our future," he said, his voice carrying across the rock. "No more secrets. No more divided lands. From this day forward, the Pride Lands will not be ruled by bloodline alone, but by unity." Imani stepped beside him, then, "Let the Broken Valley stand with you." One by one, leaders from other regions joined. Old rivals lowered their heads. Cubs watched with wide eyes as history shifted before them. Far away, the unseen leader of the Embers smiled faintly. "Good," he murmured. "Let them unite." Empires fall harder when they believe they are wind. Carried across the plains once more, not with fire this time, but with warning. The circle of life was healing. But the next threat would not come roaring. It would come whispering. And Simba would soon learn that the greatest test of a true king is not defeating darkness, but preventing it from being reborn. Dawn crept over the Pride Lands like a cautious witness. The light revealed movement everywhere, lionesses training near the riverbanks, elders speaking in low voices beneath acacia trees, patrols, pacing borders that had been quiet for seasons. Simba watched it all from Pride Rock, feeling the weight of leadership settle deeper into his bones. Amani stood beside him now, no longer a stranger, but not yet fully trusted. The young lion's gaze followed the patrols with practiced tension. "They're ready," he said. "More than my pride ever was." Simba nodded. "They must be. Fear of fire won't test us with words." As if summoned by the thoughts, Zazu swooped in, wings beating hard. "Sire, scouts report smoke near the Broken Valley's northern edge. Controlled burns, strategic ones." Nala stepped forward, eyes sharp. "He's pushing borders." Measuring response, Rafiki leaned on his staff, smiling faintly. "Or he is inviting us to dance." Simba exhaled. "Then we choose the rhythm." The first clash came sooner than expected. A patrol returned at dusk, battered and breathless. They spoke of shadow-marked lionsmen's scorched black eyes painted with ash-testing defenses, retreating before full engagement. No killing, no conquest, just fear planted like seeds. "He wants us anxious," Nala said that night, pacing the stone. "An uneasy pride makes mistakes." Simba looked toward the stars. "Scar ruled through fear. Vispan studies it." Amani lowered his head. "In the Broken Valley, he taught us that mercy weakens bloodlines. Cubs were made to fight. The weakest were cast out." A silence followed, heavy, unforgiving. "That ends now," Simba said quietly. "Tomorrow, we go to the valley." The journey was long and tense. Thief. The land changed as they moved east, lush grass, giving way to cracked earth and jagged stone. The air smelled of smoke and old sorrow. When they reached the Broken Valley, Simba felt it immediately. A place wounded by cruelty, not nature. They found the camp at dawn. The air of fire stood upon a rise of blackened rock, mane glowing like embers against the grey sky. Yews, larger than Simba, scarred and proud, eyes burning with conviction. "So," the air called, voice echoing. "The ghost of Pride Rock walks again." Simba stepped forward alone. "I am no ghost, and this land does not belong to fear." The air laughed. "You wear a crown built on stories and luck." Scar understood truth's power decides. Scar destroyed everything he touched. Simba replied, including himself. The smile faded. "Then let the circle judge us." The valley exploded into motion. The battle was chaos. Roars, flashing claws. Lionesses moved in coordinated arcs, driving back the Shadow Pride's flank. Nala fought like fire herself, precise and relentless. Amani faced his former Pride brothers, sorrow and resolve, clashing with every strike. Simba found the air at the heart of it. They collided with a force that shook stone loose from the cliffs. The air fought with brutal strength, no restraint, no hesitation. Simba countered with balance, each move learned from loss, from exile, from forgiveness. "You crib rule beside me." The air snarled, pressing Simba back. "Together we would burn weakness from the world." Simba planted his paws, roaring with everything he was. "Strength without compassion is just destruction." Their final clash sent the air stumbling. Before Simba could finish it, the valley trembled, an explosion of fire from a hidden cache. Smoke swallowed the field. When it cleared, the air was gone. The cost was heavy, but the valley was free. Survivors emerge. Lions, lionesses, cubs thin, frightened, alive. Simba stood among them, not as conqueror, but protector. "This land can heal," he said, "if you choose it." One by one, they bowed. That night, fires burned, not for war, but warmth. Yet far away, beyond sight and sound, Bear of Fire limped through darkness, hatred hardening into something colder. The king had won the battle, but the war had learned his name. Dawn broke over the Pride Lands with an uneasy stillness, the kind that came before a great stampede or a war. From the peak of Pride Rock, Simba watched the land awaken, his silhouette carved against the pale gold sky. Birds lifted from the acacias in nervous flurries, and far below, herds shifted as if they, too, sensed what was coming. Behind him, the pride assembled. Nala stood closest, her gaze sharp and unyielding. Kiara and Kian waited beside her older now, stronger, their eyes carrying both hope and fear. To Simba's right, Rafiki leaned on his staff, drawing quiet symbols into the dust, whispering to spirits only he could hear. "The land listens," Rafiki said softly. "And today, it remembers." Messengers returned one by one. Zebras from the north, elephants from the marshlands. Even the reclusive leopards of the shadowed cliffs sent word. The circle of life was answering Simba's call. But not all answers came with loyalty. A Mani emerged from the crowd, his posture tense. Scouts report movement in the Broken Valley. The heir of fire marshes at sunset. He's united rogue prides, hyenas, even exiles who once swore never to bow again. Simba's jaw tightened. "How many?" "Enough," Amani replied. "Nate fight without rules." Silence rippled through the gathering. Kiara stepped forward, her voice steady despite the weight in her eyes. "Then we don't fight like them. We fight for what they've forgotten." Her words stirred something deep. Murmurs turned to growls of agreement. As the sun climbed higher, dust rose on the eastern horizon. A dart line stretched across the plains, an army moving as one. At its head walked a massive lion with a mane scorched black and red, eyes glowing like embers. The heir of fire had arrived. He stopped just beyond the river that marked Prideland borders and lifted his head. Its roar shattered the Comro, furious and filled with challenge. It echoed against the stones of Pride Rock, clawing at old wounds. Simba stepped forward to the edge, answering with a roar of his own, not of rage, but of authority. The land seemed to breathe with him. "This ends today," Nala said quietly. "Yes," Simba replied, eyes locked on the enemy king. "Not with revenge, with truth." As clouds gathered and the wind shifted, two forces faced each other, fire against balance, shadow against legacy. And above them all, the circle of life watched, waiting to see which king truly deserved the crown. The storm had begun.